Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the imaginary numbers. We know that in real numbers, when we have square root of 4, when 4 is written under radical sign, it means we want this positive square root of 4. So we write it as 2 because 2 square is equal to 4. Similarly, square root of 9 is equal to 3. The positive square root of 9 is equal to 3 because 3 square is equal to 9. But similarly, positive square root of 25 is equal to 5 because 5 square is equal to 25. Now the problem was that when we were solving the equations of this form, for example, x square plus 1 is equal to 0. So in this, if you want to find the value of x, what we will do is we are going to shift 1 to the right hand side, and then the next step will be to take the square root of both the sides. Now when we do so, what we get a negative number under the radical sign. So x is equal to -1. Now in real numbers, there is no such numbers whose square is equal to -1. Okay, if you want to find the square root of -1, we won't get anything. If we in real numbers, if you want to find the square root of 1, it will be 1. The positive square root of 1 is 1 because 1 square is equal to 1. But if we want to find the square root of -1, then there is no such numbers whose square gives us -1, because square of any number in real number is always a positive number. Okay, so there is no such number in real numbers. Okay, in the set of real numbers that we have already studied, the rational and irrational, the union of rational and irrational is a set of real numbers. In that set, we don't have any number whose square is equal to -1. So we can't find any real number whose square gives us -1. So what it was in the beginning, they called these numbers as imaginary numbers because there were no such numbers in the set of real numbers. Okay, so we called them that such numbers are imaginary. For example, if you want to find the square root of -4, okay, the square root of -4, is there any number whose square gives us -4? No, even -2 square is equal to +4. Okay, it is never equal to -4. Same is the case with, let us take some more examples. For example, if we want to find the square root of -25, then we can't find any number, okay, whose square is equal to -25. Square root of -25 means you have to find a number whose square gives you the number under the radical sign. Okay, that is how we define square roots. So square root is a number whose square gives us the number which is under this radical sign. So there is no such number in the set of real numbers whose square gives us -25. Okay, we can't find any number whose square is equal to -25, because even if we take -5, its square is also not equal to -25. Its square is equal to +25, because even power, what it does to the negative sign, -5 whole square is -5 into -5, and we know that negative into negative gives us a positive sign. 5 into 5, this is equal to +25. Similarly, the same problem was here. Okay, because of this negative sign, we couldn't find, we know that the square root of 49 is 7, but what about this negative sign? We couldn't find any number whose square was equal to -49. Because of this negative sign, we are having imaginary numbers. Okay, we called these numbers that these numbers were some numbers outside the real numbers. In real numbers, we can't find any number whose square is equal to -49. There wasn't any number whose square gives us -49 in the set of real number, obviously. So what we did, the mathematician did, what they did is they invented new numbers which were outside the real numbers. Okay, similarly, if we have negative, 36. We want to find the square root of negative 36. The most the number that which comes into our mind is negative 6 and 6. Okay, even if you try these, negative 6 whole square is equal to positive 36, and similarly 6 square, the positive 6 square is also equal to positive 36. It's not equal to negative 36. It means that in the real number there is no such number whose square gives us negative 36. So if you want to find the number which gives us negative 36, then we won't be able to find in the set of real numbers. So what the mathematician did is that they invented new numbers. Okay, new numbers which were not real, obviously, because you couldn't find them in the real numbers, but we can invent or we can define new numbers which were not real, but which were the numbers which were outside the real numbers. Okay, we invented the numbers which were outside the real numbers, and these numbers were called imaginary numbers. Okay, how we did it? That suppose we want to find the square root of negative 25. We know that square root, if this negative sign was not here, then we could easily solve it as a square root of 25 is equal to 5. So the only problem is about this negative sign. So what we did is we separated them. We wrote negative 1 into 25. Okay, negative 25 can be written as negative 1 into 25, or you can write it as negative 1 into 25, and we can easily split this square root negative 1 into 25, okay, by using the law AB under root is equal to under root A into under root B. We can split, we can write the square root of the product is always equal to the product of their square root. So what we did is, this is a real number, this is a real number, but the square root of this number is not real, while the numbers which are written under the radical sign, they both are real. So what we did is that we separate these numbers. We can write negative 25 as negative 1 into 25, and after that we can separate them. We can separately write them as the square root of these two numbers. Okay, after that what we did is under root 25. Now we can find the square root of 25 because it does exist in the set of real numbers. The only problem was the negative one, the negative sign, which we have separated or we have put aside. Okay, so under root 25 is 5. So we can write it as negative under root negative 1 into 5. This is the number which did not exist in the set of real numbers. So they called it as imaginary number. Imaginary number. And they named this number negative 1 under root as iota. I for imaginary number, and it's called iota. Okay, iota. And this whatever negative number we get. Okay, so if we have negative of 36, okay, so what we will do is we are again going to do the same thing, write negative 36 as negative 1 into 36, and we are going to separate negative 1 square root into negative into under root 36, which will give us negative 1 into under root 36, or positive square root of 36 is 6. So we can write it as I into 6, and it is most traditionally it is written as 6 iota. Okay, so we are going to write this as 5 iota. Similarly, if we have, let us take some more example. So till now we have learned that negative square root of negative 1 is equal to iota, and this is the imaginary number. And suppose we have negative 49. Okay, this is also an imaginary number because it also has iota. So whenever you see this letter I, it means with a number, it means that number is also imaginary because that number has a negative sign under the root. Here we are going to write negative 1 into 49, and then we are going to separate negative 1 into 49. This will be written as I into square root of 49 is 7. So we are going to write it as 7 iota. So what we are going to do is we will take the square root of this number 49, square root of 49 is 7, and because this negative sign, we are going to write iota with it. So this is also an imaginary number. Okay, because of this iota, and this iota means under root -1. It means you have a negative sign under the root. Whenever you have a negative sign under the root, these numbers are called imaginary numbers, and this number is written as I. Okay, this is the symbol we use for this number. And whenever this number appear with any number, then that number also is also called imaginary number. Okay, so 7 iota is an imaginary number. Similarly, negative 25, it will be written as square root of 25 is 5, and because of this negative sign, we are going to write iota with it. Okay, so this is how we write the imaginary numbers. The next topic is, okay, the next thing that we are going to learn is the powers of iota. How to find the powers of iota. For example, question number 1 of exercise 2.5. Question number 1 of, okay, before this, let me tell you an important result. What we did was -1 is equal to iota. Now if we take the square of both these sides, what do we get? If we take the square of both the sides, because it is an equation and we can take the square of both sides, then what will happen? This square will be cancel out with the 2, and -1 is equal to, this is going to be iota square. So it means that iota square is equal to -1. Okay, this is a very important result. The first result which was important is that negative under root is equal to iota, and the second important result is that square of iota is equal to -1. Okay, the square of iota is equal to -1. It is an imaginary number. So in imaginary number, we do have numbers whose squares are equal to the negative numbers, but in real numbers we didn't have any. But here iota is an imaginary number and its square is equal to -1. Okay, imaginary number whose square is equal to -1. As we did -4, for example, we have -4. This will be written as 2 iota, because now if we square it, 2 iota is an imaginary number. Its square is equal to, when square is applied on 2, it will give 4, and when it is applied on iota, it will give iota square. We know that iota square is equal to -1, so 4 into -1, and this is going to be equal to -1. So now we do have a number whose square is equal to -4. In real number, we couldn't find this number because it was not there. It is an imaginary number. Only imaginary number squares can be equal to -4. For example, 3 iota square is equal to, square of 3 is 9, and iota square is equal to -1. So the answer is -9. It means 3 iota is the number whose square is equal to -9, and we know that 3 iota is not real because of this iota. Because of this iota, it has a negative sign under the root. So 3 iota is an imaginary number. Whenever you have this I written with a number, that will be an indication that that number is imaginary. For example, 9 iota is written with the number, it means this number is imaginary. Okay, 7 iota, it means this number is imaginary. Okay, next we are going to see how to solve or how to find the powers of iota. Okay, and we are going to use this result. Let me write it here. -1 under root is equal to iota, and iota square is equal to -1. Okay, this is the result. These are the results that we are going to use. Iota square is equal to -1. Now we want to find some powers of iota. For example, question number 1 of exercise 2.5. The question is to find iota raised to a power 7. In order to find iota raised to a power 7, first we are going to see that if the power is 7, you need to find the number which is closest to 7 and which is divisible by 2. Okay, the number which is closest to 7, it is less than 7. Try to get a number which is less than this number, okay, not greater than, do not take 8, okay, think about 6 which is less than this number and which is divisible by 2. So you find a number which is less than 7 and which is nearest to the 7 and which is divisible by 2. The nearest number, the nearest even number to 7. So here we want to find that what is iota raised to power 7. We need to simplify this power, okay. We want to find, simplify means we have to find some number which is equal to this power and which is simpler than iota raised to power 7. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to find a number, the nearest even number to 7 which is less than 7, okay. The nearest number which is even as well as which is to the left side of 7 is 6, okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to split this power into, we are going to write it as sum of that number which we have searched for, 6 plus 1, because 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. So you are going to split 7 and write it as the sum of 6 and 1, the number which is nearest to 7, less than 7 and which is even, okay. The nearest even number which is less than 7 is 6 and you are going to write 7 as 6 plus 1. The next step we are going to do is you are going to write it as iota raised to power 6 into iota raised to power 1. This is the law that we have used, okay. We can separate this, we can write a raised to power m plus n as a raised to power m plus a raised to power m into a raised to power n, which we have already learned in the previous exercises. So the next step we are going to do is we are going to write 6 as, we are going to write iota and then we are going to put square over here and then we are going to write the number here which when multiplied with 2 gives us 6. We know that 2 into 3 is 6, 2 into 3, so write 3 here. Now we have written 6 as 2 into 3. We know that power of a power, okay. We know that whenever a power of 2 powers applies on the same number, then they get multiplied. So we have written 6 as iota square raised to power 3 because this is equal to iota raised to power 2 into 3 which gives us 6. So what you are going to do, you are going to first find the even number which is nearest to 7 and which is on the left hand side of 7. Near to 7 and less than 7 we are taking because this will make your calculation more easy, okay. We can take 8 also, but that will introduce some negative power, so it's better, you know, if you want positive exponents, then you have to look for a number which is less than 7, okay, which is even and nearest to 7 and which is on the left hand side of 7, means which is less than 7. And then what you do is after finding that number, you write this number as a sum of 6 plus 1 and then after that the even power can easily be written as a product of 2 into some number, okay. All even numbers, for example if it is 8 we can write it as 2 into 4. If here was 10 we could write it as 2 into 5. So we can always write an even number as a product of 2 and some other number. After this we are going to apply this law. This is why we have written it in this form, so that we can write iota square as minus 1. We know that iota square is equal to minus 1. Now when you write this, then you know that minus negative 1 is a real number and its cube is negative 1 into negative 1 into negative 1. This is equal to negative negative positive and positive into negative is again negative. So the answer is negative 1. So negative 1 into iota. So negative 1 into iota will be written as negative iota. Okay, the next is question number, this was part 1 of question number 1 and now question number 1. This is what we got as the answer, and question number 1 part 4 is negative iota raised to a power 8. Let me write it here. Negative iota raised to a power 8. In this, first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to separate this negative sign. Okay, we will write it as negative 1 into iota raised to power 8, negative 1 into iota. Then we are going to separate this negative 1 raised to power 8, because it is a real number. Here is the imaginary number iota raised to power 8, and then we are going to simplify this as we did before. Negative 1 raised to power 8, this is a even power, and here negative 1, and we know whenever we have a negative the exponent, then the base or the whole answer is always a positive number. 1 raised to power 8 is 1, and as we have even number, so the answer will be a positive 1. If we had a odd number, then it would be negative 1. So this is plus 1 into. Now what we are going to do, again repeating the same procedure, we are going to find a number which is nearest to 8, and sorry, it is already even, so you don't need to find the nearest even number. If you have odd number, then you go for the nearest even. If you have an even number, then you can do it directly. You can directly write it as 2 into 4, okay, iota square, and here we are going to write 4 because 2 4s are 8. So iota square is equal to minus 1. Okay, 1 into anything is the same. Iota square is equal to minus 1, and negative 1 raised to power 4, as it is an even exponent, so its answer will be positive 1, because 1 raised to power 4 is 1, and the negative sign will vanish because of this even power. So this was question number 1. Part 4, this is how we solve or we simplify the powers of iota, the exponents of iota.